Welcome, Bolden, to the next episode of Coffee with Captain Carlos. Today we have Robert Straughter. He's the organizer and founder of the Donner Street Community Center, also a member of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department RECAP program. And we also have Mario Belanga, hope I got that right, Mario's Westside Market, and president of Bolden Little League, and also a member of our MMAC program here at Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. Welcome, gentlemen, and thank you guys for joining me today here with a little bit of coffee and a little bit of conversation about your particular groups and how you've been helping the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department partner with the community and keep our relationship and our focus on the community and the success of our community. So we'll go ahead and start with Robert. And Robert, I want you to explain to us about your program and what's going on.
Well, my program, the Donner Street Community Center, was launched when I met with you a few weeks ago, and we were partnering up with the community thing, the event that Stretch is doing, and I met North Las Vegas Police Department, and I told them about the mentoring curriculum that I have at the Clark County School District, where I have a studio at Desert Rose High School, and what I do is I mentor kids there, and I give them life skills and do like intervention and stuff like that there at the high school. And for me doing that at the high school, I met AP. AP came through there, saw what I was doing in the county, Beetle now, came to the school, saw the way the kids, I relate to the kids, and kids sleeping in school, not coming to school, I sit there, talk to them, read their progress reports, tell them about me coming from Donner Street and being a 1%er and being able to overcome the negative environment and stuff like that. And that's what got me to where I'm at now with the Donner Street Community Center, because I work at the county, at the Pearson and Walnut Center with the same curriculum, with the music curriculum, where kids that are on probation with gun charges, gang charges, whatever, come through there, talk to me, and hip hop music is the #1 communicator with millennials and Generation Z. The youth, that's the #1 communicator. It doesn't matter what nationality they are or whatever, but definitely African Americans and Latinos, #1 communicator.
So you're like an accountability coach and mentor all in one.
Yes.
And you go to different community centers around the valley and mentor and coach the youth.
Well, the only centers that I work with is Walnut Center and Pearson Center. I go to different schools, from middle schools to high schools. I just was on the Zoom call with South with about 20 kids, with the principal, the teacher, and they just tell me all their problems, tell me what they're going through, because I don't go by numbers, I go by experience. I've experienced gang life, I experienced drugs, I experienced my parents being on drugs, I experienced being poor. Me and my brother sharing one pair of pants and people on Donner talking about us, and just being hungry and just going to school for breakfast and lunch to eat. So I can relate to their situations and they feel comfortable with telling me what's going on. So I just try to give them like a big brother or uncle type of thing that I try to do for the Las Vegas Valley.
You mentioned a couple of people that has partnered with you. One of you said AP. AP, I believe, is one of the officers in our community, Office of Community Engagement.
Yes.
Could you, what's his name?
Arnold Parker.
Okay.
I partnered with, I was with BJ and Morales.
BJ Plastic.
Yeah, Plastic is who started me off. We did a talent show we do every Black History Month for kids, underprivileged kids, and any kids in Las Vegas Valley, but we do underprivileged kids, and we team up with the city of Las Vegas, and we always do it at the East Las Vegas Community Center on Black History Month. 200 to 500 people always show up, and we give them awards. We give them, like this year the winner got a Cane's bag from Cane's with like 10 different meals, and
wow.
And then we give them a video and 3 songs produced with CSN College. I teamed up with CSN College, and we do the whole program there, and
So
we go there.
So when they win this prize, they get to go to CSN and produce a record?
Yes, and
Really?
CSN has an immaculate studio, like very professional, like top of the state.
Okay, top of the line, okay, excellent. So tell us about this Donna Street Community Center. You're gonna be opening it up, or what, how can people that wanna get involved in that, how can they help?
Well, the Donna Street Community Center right now, we just got an AC unit, North Las Vegas, Police Department Officer Cooks is working with me on it. And we're getting the floors and the walls and everything painted. And then we're gonna have an after school program where kids that get out of school from 3 to 6, that we feed them with food for pantry. We feed them, we give them tutoring, and we give them life skills and just basically mentoring to know that they can get out of that environment. And from like 9 to 3 o'clock, it's going to be a business center. So because it's 50% Latinos and 50% African Americans. So if you don't have GEDs or anything, we're going to help you to get a GED and facilitate that, hopefully get you a job, and just bring a positive environment and belief into a dark situation.
Excellent, that's awesome. We appreciate you, and if there's anything that we can do to help in the future, I know we talk about partnering, and I just want to give credit where credit was due. Back when you spoke earlier, you said Minister Stretch is an activist in our community.
Yes.
He does a lot of things in the community to help the community. And the event was the Black Lives Matter protest that occurred over at Doolittle.
Oh, yeah.
We had probably about 1,300 people that showed up there.
Packed.
And unlike other protests that occurred in our valley, this protest went off without a hitch. Didn't have any type of violence. No arrest was made. The people that came out, stayed on the topic of, focus on, not having any type of police brutality or those types of things that, we support that. We support, as a police department, we support people speaking out about things that are impacting them in the community. So it doesn't have to be necessarily police brutality or anything that we're doing as an agency. We welcome the opportunity for us to come to a table and have that conversation, that difficult discussion, say, hey, Metro, you're doing this, or Metro, you're doing that. How can we change this? How can we be better partners with the community? So I just wanted to give Stretch Sanders his due. He's been a community organizer and an activist. I just wanted to say, that was one kind of like our catalyst of coming together. So
Yes.
I wanted to give him that due there.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like by what we're doing now, we can show the community that it's okay to deal with a police officer.
You're
It's okay
absolutely
to have a
right.
relationship with
You're
a police
absolutely right.
officer, and it's okay when you have your relationship to tell them how the community feels and get your point across without any friction.
what was your tipping point to say, come to the table and start talking with law enforcement?
BJ Plaskett, he used to call me all the time, and I never thought I'd ever be talking to police officers because I'm just a street cat. And he just told me that he know that I'm trying to do good things for the kids, and he felt like I'm a good guy and he wanted to give me a chance. And we built a friendship first. Once we built our friendship, then he like one of my homeboys. He even though he's a police officer, he's my friend as a police officer. So it helped me to get comfortable with him, knowing that I wouldn't stab him in the back or he wouldn't stab me in the back. And then we did the talent show, and everybody, it just blew up after that. And I just felt like not all police officers are bad, because I had a lot of bad experiences with police officers. And now I understand you just have to go to, like you said, you have to go. If I have a problem, I could come to you now and tell you what's going on, what happened to me, and then we can rectify it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I think it's coming to the table. If we have issues, we come to the table to discuss those issues. If we have topics that need to be discussed, it's like Mario is a part of MMAC.
Yes.
And MMAC has been very instrumental in how they have helped shape the department's use of force policy, and how we have, as an agency, have adopted new tactics, new procedures, new policies to keep forging us forward, to keep building on the relationships, and to change our policies and practices so that we are engaging with our community and we are listening to them to make sure that we are policing the community in a manner that builds trust, that builds those relationships, and it builds our community relationships. So, Maury, if you can, transition here, and can we hear some things about how you have helped your cause? I know you in Bolden Little League. You're the president of Bolden Little League. We just had the fireworks booth in support of the Bolden Little League. We didn't have it this year, but I think we should be looking forward to a very prosperous next year and keep the attendance of that program up.
Here we are. Before all the problems started with the sickness and stuff, we had 186 kids signed up, ready to play. Unfortunately, we couldn't play because the city shut down the fields for the safety of the kids, and I agree. There's nothing more important than the safety of the kids and parents out there. We started Little League probably I think it's been about 4 years ago. One of the old captains from Bolden came by and said, "What can we do to help out the neighborhood?" And I said, "Well, we haven't had Little League over here in probably about 10 years. Why don't we start Little League?" And
Was that Plummer?
that was Plummer, Captain
Robert
Plummer.
Plummer.
And he said, "Oh, that sounds good." In my mind at first, I thought, this is going to be another one of those, what can I do for you? And never see you again. But no, Captain came by and we started the league. First year we had 4 teams. Next year it grew to 8 teams. And this last year we was probably going to have close to 14 teams. So what our goal was to gap the difference between the community and the police, and it was working. It was working. We had an incident where one of the officers got called to a domestic, and when he got there, the young man that opened the door, he played for this officer, and just the look from what the officer was telling me, the look on his face, that relief that he had someone he knew, someone that he could trust. And it works out. That happened 2 or 3 times like that. Another officer, when he got there, I could tell at coaching, I could tell he didn't really. He wanted to be there, and he didn't want to be there. I think he said, "I don't know what I got myself into,
Right.
but I'm here." And I remember telling my vice president, I don't think this is going to work. But by the end of the season, the kids were wearing his vest. They were jumping in his car, and I could see that bond between that officer that I thought wasn't going to be a fit to someone these kids looked up to at the end. They got that trust, and that's what we wanted to start. And that's it was all about the starting Bolden Little League. That and let the kids play, And I am a member of the Sheriff's Multicultural Advisory Council. And it's not just another group where people go and sit. We've actually, we listen to, there's a bunch of different community partners, and okay, this is what I'm hearing, and we talk about it. Sometimes we don't agree, but at the end of the meeting, we know we're friends. We don't let the problems that we're being up divide us. And further that, the sheriff actually listens, and we've helped change the use of force policy. And there's 2 or 3 different other ones. I had a problem with recruiting, and I brought it up to him. I said, "Hey, I think this problem here, that we're having this problem." And he didn't just, he got me in touch with the people in charge of recruiting, the people in charge of investigations. And we told them what our concerns was, and they changed it. So it's a group that actually has made changes for the community, and the sheriff listens.
That's, and it's all about having that ear, and yes, the sheriff does listen. Everything that is brought up, whether it be a use of force or a policy change or whatever the concern is, we have a listening ear. We want to hear. We want to have that engagement, And one of the vehicles to come to the table is the MMAC committee. And that's one, how does one, if one wanted to participate in that committee, how would they get involved?
Well, the person in charge of the committee, I believe, is Ramadan.
Mujib Ramadan.
He'd be one you want to talk to, probably your metro headquarters.
Okay.
Get in touch with him. But,
All right.
it is a good group. It is, it helps. It's one of the groups that, like I say, it's not just to come and have some water and lunch and be on your way and we, think we satisfied you. We really get into discussion. Like I say, sometimes heated discussion, but we're all there for the same thing, to make our community better and to bridge the gap between the community and the police department.
Right. It's good to have those healthy discussions. It's good to have those discussions that brings out that emotion, brings out that passion that people have about their community and about how we can change, how we can take those steps forward. And that doesn't occur or it doesn't happen unless we come to the table, everybody gets together, and then we bring all the issues, and then we start to talk about those issues in frank discussion where we can have these discussions and bring these topics up and put a plan together to address them for the community to be heard, and then put plans in place for us to change how we can change within policy, within law. The community is the driving force behind Metro. We have had, I believe since 2010, we've changed our use of force policy 3 times. That all came from the involvement of the community. We posted our use of force policy on Twitter. That's something that I haven't seen another police agency around the country do that. We're being progressive, and I don't know many other agencies that are having community members come in and have discussions like we have in here with, the Coffee with Captain Carlos. And I think that all of these are good community building relationships, programs, and we're striving to get better. And if anyone out there that's watching this, if you have an idea of how we can get better, or you have something that can help us as an agency get better, we're looking for it. And I want to just touch on a topic that we've been having over the last few months, and that's the George Floyd incident that has created, and God rest his soul. The incident that happened to him is not something that we condone as a Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. However, it has brought up topics, it has brought up frank discussions about how we police here in Las Vegas. And what I want to say is that if any of our younger generation out there would like to have conversations with myself or anyone on the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department staff, please get in contact with us. And Omar, our awesome videographer, he will put a link to our page, to our email address. You can email us, we will get back to you. Our Bolden phone number, and you can contact us online. You can go through dispatch, call 311. They'll connect you to our substation. So we are accessible. We want to engage. And another thing I want to say is I want to say thank you to Jason Witten. Jason Witten, new Raider, he came here and he had an opportunity to speak to a lot of the community members that were here when he came over and offered his services. And I gave him a challenge coin. The challenge was for him to stay engaged. So I'm still looking for him to come back and make sure that he's engaged with us and our community. So in closing, I'd like to throw it back to Robert. Do you have anything you would like to share with the audience before we close?
Let's hope that you guys get out and vote, especially the millennials and Generation Z. We need you guys to create change. And I'm here for my community. I just want to help our youth to rise above our school issues that we're having with graduations and stuff like that. I just want us to understand that we can if I did it, I come from down the street and I made it and graduated, you can do it too for all the kids out there listening.
Excellent, that's awesome.
Well, I just want to give a shout out to the Bolden COP and the captain. I've said all along that if it wasn't for the captain to allow his officers to take the time to go out and help with the kids over at the park, it couldn't be done. So I want to thank you for allowing your officers to come over and give us a hand, because it makes a big difference. And,
Yes, it does.
and if we're gonna get that gap together, we need to do more of that.
Yes.
More of that engagement where the officers can, because if we're gonna, our kids, if we're gonna save our kids, we do it at a younger age, where when they grow up, we're all on the same page. And that's how I was brought up, So I want to thank you for allowing your officers the time to come over and give us a hand.
Well, I appreciate your thanks, and we're gonna continue to strive and continue to force that engagement. Sometimes, it's interesting. In police work, a lot of times we're governed by production. What are we doing? How are we doing it? What have you? But sometimes those relationships are immeasurable. You can't measure a relationship, and it's those times that it's like when those kids see a cop and they see them as a person. They see them different than when they're in the uniform. They understand who they are and why they do what they do. I think that brings another level of that relationship to when that police officer can have that engagement with that citizen or with that young child, or whatever the case may be. You provided an excellent example of an officer responding to a scene where there's a domestic going on and that child seeing someone that he saw that being his coach there to help, and he knew that officer was there to help because he had had that experience with him previously as a coach.
Yeah.
So, thank you all for tuning in to another edition of Coffee with Captain Carlos. And as we say here at Bolden, keep up that Bolden pride. See you next time.